Gene, I want to go back to the long-term profitability analysis, because there's a few things that you mentioned there that I think is significant, that every seller needs to at least keep it in the back of their mind. So what you were referring to was you have a product either outside of Amazon that you've been selling and now you want to launch on Amazon, or you are launching on Amazon exclusively for the first time. No matter what, it doesn't matter, you're launching. So and you've got a process that you figured out in terms of producing it, labeling it, and shipping and blah blah to Amazon facility, assuming that you're using FBA, which, you know, FBM I wouldn't recommend, especially for new operations. So so we're going to go by the assumption that it's FBA anyway. So you've figured it out. So what you are saying is, do not think that's the writing on the wall. Always be open to modifying your processes, whether it's labeling here, labeling there, or even I'm going to even suggest to you virtual bundles. So rather than have the 3PL or without having any data, creating these packs and bundles, Amazon introduced this virtual bundles. It's only available, of course, for brand registered sellers. But that's our audience. So they see what your virtual bundle numbers are, and then go. My favorite story about virtual bundle is it's not about bundling, but it's the same idea. So I worked with this company that sold personalized storybooks. And this was for kids. So let's say that you're going to buy a birthday gift or something, or a school, starting school for your cousin, nephew, or whatever. So you would have a storybook about them. So you could personalize the book. So the book is the same book, but suddenly it becomes a story about, you know, your nephew. It's all personalized. So you could, you know, on Amazon, you have this customization capability, so you can create custom orders. This is not for FBA, but it was for FBM because it has to be done one at a time. But the principle is the same. What we did was, they said, okay, how we're going to do this? We're going to have to keep shipping one by one. I said, no, not really. We can use FBA. So they said, well, how we're going to use FBA? We have to print every book. I said, exactly. So what we did a little research about the most common names for boys and girls.
I love it. I love it.
And we picked top 6 from boys, top 6 from girls, pre-printed a number of them, and created them as variations. Select the name and bang, the book which would ship. Except that we added a 7th option. Order your own, which was the custom FBM option. So we would simply then, so it, of course, the most popular ones is easy enough. You just pick a number and then you replenish. But the ones that were ordered custom as FBM, we kept an eye. Where are the orders coming from? If we didn't have the name Alice, for example, for a girl, and we got so many Alices in 1 month, then we would say, okay, add Alice to the list. So and then
we have a similar story about tablecloths. So we had a high-end premium tablecloth seller, and they were selling tablecloths for square tables, round tables, rectangular tables where you could sit 6 people, 8 people, 10 people, 12 people. And then they had patterns. And we had the same name problem, but we have a pattern size problem. And we did something very similar. We selectively put items in FBA. We put everything else in FBM, and then we kept an eye on it to see if anything needed to be moved to FBA. So it's funny. It's the same strategy that we independently came on.
So the moral of the story is always be open to tweaking your process to optimize your profitability, your ease of processing. So some things, you may have 6 steps. You may cut it down to 4 steps, maybe, by doing it certain way. So these things will always pay off. And that's what you're referring to by long term, right?
That's exactly it. And one of the great rules of thumb to kind of keep in mind when you're looking and you're like, hey, this is my price now. This is what my COGS are. This is what I can make, but I can be better in the future. You want to keep in mind that your COGS, you really need to be able to sell something about 3 times the cost of your COGS, right? Anything less than that. So if the market won't bear a price that's 3 times the cost of your COGS, so if you have competitors that are seriously undercutting you, or if you just have a very expensive product that people won't pay a premium price for, that we can't really fix with long-term margin optimization. Sure, the game can change, but the optimization that we're talking about is, after you kind of got enough wiggle room where it supports a good investment of growth in the beginning. So at least that's our guidance we give to our clients so that they're not surprised.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always say the only constant in Amazon game is change. So always be
I want to high five you, Nick.
yeah, always. I mean, that's what keeps you young, right? So
it does.
Just keep pushing. So